Welcome back, everybody, to Space Engineers 2. As you saw from the procession video, I really did like making that. There was a few little tweaks I could make to that video. Yes, I'd have to speed a little bit high on the old moving around. I need to sort that out. Trust me, I'll get that ready for the next version I do, if I do another version of that. But what we're here for is, as you've no doubt seen by the thumbnail and the previous video of the procession, I couldn't keep them far enough apart, so my Blue Ship actually ended up rear-ending the Krant, as I call it. I don't know why I call it the Krant, I just do. But as you can see, my ships have a kind of like a theme. They seem to be half the size of the original ships. Now, if there is a series I want to make out of this was just a test. I might even try and do it with the stations next, and then combine the stations and the ships into one major dreadnought, maybe. I don't know yet. It's a thought in progress. I am currently making another ship, which I've somehow made an uneven but even ship. Yeah, we'll look at that in a little while. But first we've come to see the latest ship. She is smaller than the original Blue Ship. She is thinner than the original Blue Ship. And she's shorter. I call her the Constellaire. The Constellaire Light Recon Frigate. Or Cruiser. Whichever one you want to go with. I don't care. So the premise was, in the redesigns here, was can I take certain parts from the original ships that they are built from and make a completely different ship. In that, I have succeeded. We have the Krant in the background there. That was a redesign of the red ship, and I do like the recolorization of the red ship up above. I love that one. We're going away from the Constellaire, and as you can see, you can understand where I got the name for this ship from, because it has a unique look similar to a Constellation class from Star Trek. I wasn't going for this idea, but it ended up just being like this, so it was like, I actually don't know my build premises when I start doing this kind of thing. It was basically started with the top bridge section up here, cut that off, which literally is, if I go up here, is this section up here. Basically, that would be the game saving, of course. I cut this top section off down to, if I bring up the cursor, I cut this little section off right about here, keeping the top selection right up to about here, but not the engines. I didn't want the engines, so I got rid of this exterior hangar bay section, and then it became its own thing, its own entity. And as you can see, this right here is a modified version of the front end of the red ship. Down here, this nose section. So I took the nose section off that, put it down here as kind of like a small entrance shuttle bay. And to be honest, it all came out really, really well. I added these little stanchions in to make it look like they're being held on. But then as I was building it out, I don't know whether to put running lights on it yet, because we haven't really got running lights yet. So after I put that on, I thought, let's make it look a little bit unique. So the lower engine pod goes down here on the underside of the ship. And apparently I've got a red smudge on my screen, so I'm going to have to sort that out. Don't know how the hell that's got there. So as I'm building out the outer chassis for that, she started to come into her own idea. So I took the engines off. These were the first things I partially copied alongside the top section here, the bridge area. And the idea was just coming into fruition, so I kind of just partially copied it. And as I was putting one down, I'd made this kind of fin. I said to myself I was going to have the engines up above. So as I did that, the other engine went into place. It was at that moment in time I just went, it doesn't look right just having the upper engines up there. So I slapped two more of the same engines in a similar alignment. Now I'm hoping that when we get block destruction in properly from thrusters, that these are going to be separated apart enough, because if it's not, this will only be a creative mode ship, and I'm going to have to modify this a little bit more. So yeah, it kind of, it has its ups and downs, but I'm hoping I have been quite diligent in trying to keep the thrusters from burning anything. I can't guarantee a damn thing. So yeah, the thrusters, I just went, well, that looks like a really nice arrangement. It'd look a bit silly if I didn't put the same kind of arrangement down below. Now if you notice, I've actually gone slightly different there on the underside than I have up here. I wanted both fins actually looking slightly different, so yeah, that was the idea. But this, as you can see, was never meant to be on the side. This is actually this bit here, this actual sensor network array up the top here, and it did actually come with that engine, so I had to remove the engine and remove these little bits of greebling right here, and it came out really, really well. It's kind of like a sensor array, and this is where I came up with the idea of this can be a reconnaissance frigate or cruiser, whichever way you want to put it. And if we get jump drives at some point, she can be a ship that basically you jump in at maximum range. These will be sensor packages. She will do a complete scan of the sector, get any information, and then book it out and go back to where she actually came from, her home base. So inside, this is where I've gone for a little bit of leeway. I've been trying to figure out how the hell to make light shafts. Now the only problem is the noise from these thrusters are a little bit louder than I thought they'd be. And as you can see, I am in a bit of a work in progress, trying to learn new things, how to build in with this new unified grid system, which, funny enough, true story, I tried going back into Space Engineers 1 the other day, and I tried working on one of my older builds, and to be honest, I struggled to actually do it. I don't know why. I think it was partly, for me, it was the clunky insert, delete, end, home, page up, page down of the turning of the blocks. It kind of annoyed me in the end. I don't know why. But just going, if I go back to page 1 and just doing that, is more intuitive to me. That was an undo history, which is nothing there. I've even got that down to an absolute key now. It all works. It all literally works. Everything about it works, and I love that in its own way. I've heard and seen, I think, a review saying that they should not have, I think it was a review or somebody said it or someone, but they should go back to the insert, delete, home, and page up, page down. That would work if you had a miniature keyboard, you know, that only had that little area off to your side, and you can have one hand on the other keyboard whilst you have one hand on, you have basically two keyboards. But I've only got a single one, which means going over here and then trying to figure out which way I'm going with my right hand. Yet I found it more intuitive with my left hand. But that's me. That's not everybody else. So I kind of called out this little area here. So if I kind of go a little bit slower on the old movement here, I called out this area, and as you can see, I've made my own little venting. One single light just pops up there. Then you've got these stairs that lead up to the top deck and the bridge. I tried to keep it as close as I could. So we got down here, we have 6 reactors. 2, I think it's what, 5 gyros I think down there. 5 gyroscopes. Containers above until we get conveyor systems. That's the way they're going to be, and I might modify that a little bit more. It's looking a little bit bland on the exterior right there. I may have to modify that slightly. But when I did this, I actually added in that little extra bit. But I think it looking bland is open to interpretation that once we get more blocks, and we can make it look a little bit better, I think. So we take the stairs. As you saw down here, I thought this was a really neat way of building up the inside of here. Couldn't really put anything else in here because it would block off the walkway. So then we go up this way, you get a clear view of the upper engine mount, which I thought was awesome. I'm keeping the original view of it, the original look, but just modifying it, tweaking it a little bit. Then you've got handrails. Oh, these handrails are a nightmare to put down. As you can see, they kind of overlap each other. So I thought I'll keep, instead of greebling away like I did on the previous on the Krant, I thought I'd go for a slightly different view down here. Keep it simple, keep it original, the way it was already built in. See, I haven't modified any of this walkway, none of it. Even up here, this has not even been touched. But this is where I've changed a few things and updated a few things. So yeah, I put a little bit of work into. Oh, what happened there? There was a part around the door. What in the world happened there? Well, we can soon fix that. I wonder why that disappeared for. And just trying to find the correct. See how intuitive I'm finding this now? Oh, until you find the wrong size that you really don't need. So there you go, done. That's it. I must have actually forgotten to put that in. I'll have to update the blueprint that I've got of this ship. So I've kept this kind of the way it was before. I do need to possibly make this a little bit more homey in here for now. I'm waiting for a few more blocks to come in. so that's pretty much the same. But the bridge section was only a single chair, was it not? This is now pilot and co-pilot. And as you can see, I use the buttons as kind of like a as a table, basically, between the two cockpits. I can't believe I even did that. But it was fun to make. Then you got this section up here, which basically it's not really doing anything. I just thought it looked nice. This was a sod to put together because I actually made it almost wrong. Yeah, this is... I think she came out really, really well. She's a very, very short-range recon vessel. As I said, she just basically jumps in, gets a scan of the sector, maybe deploy a cloak ship or something, gets out, then comes back, picks up the cloak ship, does what she needs to do, and gets back out again. I think it's a really, really nice addition. And to be honest with you, I am finding the partial copying to be way more advanced than even I dreamed of. If only I had this when I was trying to build some of the other ships that I was making in Space Engineers 1, I would be 5 times faster because, as I say, I can't get on with the symmetry, the mirror moding. I can't do it for some reason. For some reason it always comes out uneven. But partial copying, I got that hands down. Exactly the way I want it. So yeah, I just thought I'd also, you know, give you a video, a breakdown of the Constellaire. And I'm going to give you a preview now of my next ship that I'm in the middle of building. It's a custom-made fighter. She's about 3/4 of the way finished. Oh, by the way, these are my own thrusters. I built these. So this is a custom-built fighter. But somehow, and I don't know how I've done this, I have... Don't worry, the audio will be down low enough so you won't hear that. So if I go up here, if anybody sees anything that is only half a block out that I'm actually missing here, because I'm not seeing anything. Oh yeah, in that cube basically, reactor and gyroscopes. But somehow, and I don't know how I've done this, because as you can see, I'm still building out the nose of it, so it's not going to look like that. It's not going to be a square. But how? I don't know how, but down here, if I come to the back, that's flush along that axis there. If I go down here, it is off by 1 block. I don't know how I've done it, and actually it doesn't look right, and I'm trying to fix it, or maybe one side's going to look slightly off to the other side. I don't know why this has happened or even how this has even happened, but it has. It's something I'm working on, and hopefully at some point I will then show this ship off in its full glory. But yeah, this is my first attempt at making a fighter. The Gatling guns do not work. I know this. I am very, very well aware that they do not work. Hopefully down the line we can test out how good and what kind of positioning I can... I don't know where to have positioning of where the weapons are going to be most proficient at. I don't know whether to go 4 or 6 weapons. I don't know yet. And I might even make a modification that this thing comes with maybe a rocket launcher or torpedo launcher or something. I have no names for it yet. And the inspiration did come from me for the cockpit, at least. The pirate fighter from Buck Rogers, the original Buck Rogers series, from Princess Ardala. So I was thinking about calling it the Ardala class fighter, maybe. I don't know. I'm still thinking about names and the naming conventions of my ships. I really don't know. But as I say, somehow this fighter has become an even but uneven ship. And to be honest, she looks nice to me. It's one of my best fighters I've made yet, out of original blocks. But I didn't want to go on for much longer. That's really all I gotta say on this one. I mean, if anybody sees a block that's out of position, please tell me. And I will see you most probably in the next video. And most probably around the stars. See you around, people. Bye bye.